Hello and a very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Policy Watch with your host, Kriti Mishra. In the interest of a clean environment and rider and pedestrian safety, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is introducing the Voluntary Vehicle Fleet Modernization Program or Vehicle Scrapping Policy, which is aimed at creating an ecosystem for phasing out unfit and polluting vehicles. As per the draft, the road tax concession will be for a period of 8 years for commercial vehicles and 15 years for passenger vehicles from the date of registration. The ecosystem is expected to attract additional investments of around 10,000 crore rupees and 35,000 jobs. With a simplified registration process through a single window, the scrapping facility shall have to comply with environmental and pollution norms and with all applicable acts of law. And for deeper insights, I'm joined by Mr. Amit Vardhan, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and Mr. Rajiv Kapoor, Managing Director, Steelbird Group. Welcome to Sunset TV, both of you. Mr. Vardhan, coming to you first. India has 51 lakh light motor vehicles which are older than 20 years and 34 lakh light motor vehicles which are older than 15 years. Around 17 lakh medium and heavy commercial vehicles are older than 15 years without valid fitness certificate. Take us through the key highlights and importance of the draft vehicle scrapping policy.
Thank you. Now, to begin with, I'd like to give you the context for the policy. We have visualized that replacement of the older fleet, you mentioned some numbers. Our calculation is that about 1 crore vehicles can be in this catchment area for scrapping of all kinds. It's there in our Vahan database, which is maintained by the National Informatics Center. Now, the context is that the newer vehicles are lower on fuel consumption and maintenance costs. They have higher safety features for passengers, so they are very beneficial for passengers. And then they are much, much less polluting than the older vehicles. In fact, it is believed that if we replace the entire fleet with new vehicles, then there'll be a reduction of about 25 to 30% in the pollution levels. This policy aims to boost investments in various, in the core sector and the allied sectors, and the amount is expected to be around rupees 10,000 crores. About 35,000 jobs can be created due to it. We also plan to make these scrap available as low-cost raw materials for steel industry and other rare earth metals. And then we are also planning to bring the informal vehicle scrapping industry into the formal sector. These are our basic objectives. Now, what we visualize is a set of incentives and disincentives to coax customers into getting into this scrapping thing. You see, it's not a compulsory policy. We have called it voluntary. So through various signals, we are trying to persuade customers to move towards scrapping. So what are the incentives? I'd like to tell you that. Firstly, that once a vehicle is scrapped, then a scrapping certificate will be issued against it, on the basis of which, if he goes to buy a new vehicle, then the registration fee will be waived off. We have already issued the notification in that regard. Then recently, we have issued another notification to state governments to offer a road tax rebate of up to 25% for personal vehicles. This will be for a period up to 15 years, and up to 15% for commercial vehicles for a period of up to 8 years. These are two things. Then we have written to the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers that they should consider a discount of 5% on purchase of new vehicles against the scrapping certificate. As you may be aware, the scrap value for the old vehicle would be around 4 to 6% of the ex-showroom price of a new vehicle. Now we are planning to set up facilitate setting up several registered vehicle scrapping facilities. So these will be modern facilities where everything will be done very scientifically in a mechanized way. So the realizations from scrap will also go up from the present about 70 to 75% to roughly 90, 95%, which is the global standard. This increase will lead to a higher value added, more revenues for the government in form of taxation, and greater value for scrap for the customer as well. So this is planned. Then we are planning to seamlessly deregister through the Vahan portal. What we are planning is that the scrapping centers, the RTOs, and the fitness centers will be connected through the Vahan portal, so there'll be seamless deregistration and scrapping. These are some major things. As for disincentives, we have proposed an increase in the fee for fitness certificate and fitness test for commercial vehicles which are more than 15 years old. We have also proposed an increase in the re-registration fee for private vehicles which are more than 15 years old. As you may be aware, private vehicles are initially registered for 15 years and then re-registration is done for 5 years in one go. So when it comes for the re-registration, the fee will increase. We have also issued an advisory regarding green tax to states for levying such taxes on personal vehicles which are more than 15 years old and commercial vehicles which are more than 8 years old. So this is the set of incentives and disincentives which we plan to bring out so as to persuade customers to move towards scrapping. Besides, we'll be issuing awareness messages. We'll be trying to make them more well informed about this policy.
All right, sir, those are the broad highlights.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So those are the broad highlights, and we'll just get into the specifics in just a bit. But talking about the incentives, Mr. Kapoor, as Mr. Vardhan mentioned about incentives. Now, buyers of new passenger and commercial vehicles could get concession on road tax against scrapping certificate for their old vehicles. A vehicle failing the fitness test or failing to get a renewal of its registration certificate may be declared as end-of-life vehicle. Do you feel incentivizing the consumer would be a key for the successful execution of this policy?
Yes, absolutely. If there are incentives for the consumer, surely consumer will go for it. But as Mr. Amit has said, that this is a voluntary scrapping policy, not a mandatory scrapping policy. So if it is a voluntary scrapping policy, then there is no issue at all. There is no compulsion, basically, that you have to scrap your vehicle. There is no compulsion. It's a voluntary. So it's not mandatory. If I have a Porsche, which is costing 3 crore rupees, and if I have to scrap after 15 years, I would not like to. There are a lot of vintage cars available in the country, and they are on the road. People don't scrap them. Even in Europe, in US, people don't scrap for 50 years their cars. If the car is 100% fit or a vehicle is 100% fit, it is passing all the fitness rules, it is passing all the pollution norms, why you have to scrap it? So it is a voluntary policy. Surely it will work a lot.
All right, it's a voluntary policy. Mr. Vardhan, how do you allay the concerns that are flagged by Mr. Kapoor?
No, it is a voluntary policy. I would like to reiterate that. But we are saying that vehicles which fail the fitness test will not be allowed to ply. And then people don't keep a vehicle for ornamental purposes. If it is not to be used, not to be applied, then they will scrap it eventually. So what we are saying is that for personal vehicles, if after 20 years, the vehicle is rendered unfit in the fitness centers, or if its registration is not renewed, then it will be deregistered mandatorily. And then for commercial vehicles, if after 15 years, its fitness is not renewed, or if it is rendered unfit, then that will also be deregistered and scrapped. That is the thing. So it is voluntary. But unfit vehicles will not be allowed to ply on the road, and therefore the natural next logical step from the viewpoint of the customer is to take it for scrapping.
But Mr. Vardhan, the success of this policy also hinges on the auto sector or the prospective investors who would be required to set up ample number of automated fitness centers and scrap yards to create a suitable environment for scrapping. What is the way ahead, sir?
You see, at present, I'd like to give you some context. We have visited a few scrapping centers. There is one joint venture. It's a public-private partnership between Mahindra Axilo and MSTC, that is the Metal Scrap Trading Corporation. They have set up 3 facilities, in Noida, Chennai, and Pune. These are already functional. I have been to one of these. And the Tatas and Maruti are also planning forays into this sector. They have already started the process. Then we have issued the rules. The draft notification has been issued for setting up these scrappage centers. So these are very robust rules. These have been formulated after detailed stakeholder consultation. It has been done to allay fears and to clear the ground for setting up of these centers. We are in regular touch with various stakeholders, major players, so as to persuade them, coax them into setting up these centers. As regards the automated fitness centers, we have 7 such centers already throughout the country, and we have sanctioned a total of 26. The others are also in various stages of preparedness for being set up. So that is one thing. But we are also going to issue the rules for these automated fitness centers. They'll be out in a week or two. We have already prepared the draft after stakeholder consultations. So both these sets of rules for scrappage centers and fitness centers, they'll be in the public domain. Based on the feedback that we get, we'll make them even more robust and clear. And then that will be the context. So from the 1st of October this year, both these rules are going to be functional. We are in discussion regarding the fitness centers also with various stakeholders. We've had a series of webinars with major players to persuade them to get into this. Yesterday itself, we had a meeting with institutional investors, the finance side, and we made a very detailed presentation to them about what this policy is all about, what is there for them, and how they can come into this sector. So they appear to be very positive and receptive. This will take some time. We'll have detailed discussions again and again with various stakeholders. We are planning a webinar on the 24th of April with the minister himself, Honorable Minister himself, chairing the meeting. And that will be another major landmark, a watershed, so that we get more and more investment in these fields.
All right, so there's positive response. That's what Mr. Vardhan is telling us. And of course, the big takeaway is that within a week or two, we'll have the rules in place. But talking about the automobile sector, Mr. Kapoor, do you think this policy will help generate demand for new vehicles and become a game changer for the automobile sector?
No, it will not generate a big demand, frankly speaking. Because if my vehicle is fit, why I have to scrap it? I will not scrap it. So, as Mr. Amit has said that they are setting up an incredible line of vehicle fitness centers, they must give a mandate to a good companies like Tata, Mahindra and all, because this is very important. If that the vehicle fitness certificate should be provided by a genuine company, it should not be fake. That is very, very important. And it's not a matter of only 1, 2, 3, 4 years old vehicle. If you are applying a fake brake shoe, just giving you an example, if you are applying a substandard fake brake shoe in a commercial vehicle or in a passenger vehicle, you will meet with the accident for sure. So we have to do lot of activities. There should be a genuine products in the market. People should not be allowed to produce, to manufacture fake spare parts too. There should be standards on the spare parts too. It's not only that when you have a fitness, that every year a vehicle has to be get fitness checked. This is again very important. For motorcycle, for two-wheelers, for four-wheelers, for 8-seater, for passenger, for commercial, everybody has to get the fitness check every year. But this will not increase the sales of vehicles, frankly speaking, because if my vehicle is fit, I am having a genuine parts, it is certified by the pollution also. Why I have to scrap it? I will not scrap it. Maybe I will sell to a poor person, because now the vehicle which are absolutely not fit, they are going to be scrapped. Have you ever seen ambassador cars on the road now? No. Have you ever seen Fiat on the road? No. Have you ever seen Contessa on the road? No. Have you ever seen van or Maruti 800 in Delhi too? No. People are already scrapping the vehicles which are not fit, because these days repairing the vehicle is more expensive than having a new vehicle. So step by step, it's a voluntary policy. Step by step, people are going to scrap the vehicles for sure. But to save roads, to save human lives, we have to make our norms more strict for fitness. Every year, vehicle has to be get fitness tested, whether it is two-wheeler, four-wheeler, passenger, commercial, whatever. Then only you can save human lives. Then only you can control pollution. But for this, you have to build up incredible infrastructure. There is 17 crores vehicle on the road. Every year doing a fitness of 17 crore vehicles is not a joke. It's not a joke. You have to set up incredible infrastructure for this. So this
Mr. Vardhan, do you agree or you disagree with him on demand for new vehicles after this policy?
No, I would like to disagree. Actually, we are in very regular touch with major auto players. The automotive sector is very happy with the scrapping policy. In fact, they have been trying for it for the last 4 years. This effort has been going on, and it will be a major boost to their demand and sales. There is no doubt in it. I have just no doubt in the fact. And reacting to what Mr. Kapoor said, we'll have very genuine automated fitness centers. These won't be, manageable in the sense that you can't manipulate their results. What we are planning is for state of art fitness centers, which will be automation driven. There won't be any human interface, so no one will be able to influence the results of the tests. And we have planned checks and balances also. What I'd like to just give you a sneak peek into it. What we are saying is that when it is tested along the test lane, the results will not be displayed even on the test lane to the operators or those who are on the field. Those will go directly to the central server and will be communicated directly to the owner of the vehicle. And there is no concept of any hanky-panky or anything. It will be very transparent, and the results will be sent immediately to the Vahan network. So I don't foresee any manipulation or anything. And every vehicle, every asset has an age, has a life. You can't keep an asset for ages on for no end. So what we are saying is that yes, unfit vehicles should not be allowed to continue. So if they fail the test, as the vehicles which are not found fit, which are very old, which are not in working conditions, they will be found unfit in these fitness centers, which will be above board. So that will lead to a lot of scrap and demand for
I have one question. I have a
Yes,
vehicle
Mr. Kapoor,
15
go
years
ahead.
old.
Go ahead, sir.
To a fitness center. I bring to a fitness center, and your team found that it is unfit. What will happen immediately to that vehicle? The company will take that vehicle from me, or they will request me to scrap it, or what will happen?
No. If you have, first step is, if you are not satisfied with the result, you can go against it. You can appeal against it. So one retest will be allowed. But if the vehicle fails the retest also, then it will be rendered unfit. It will be, so after that, the next step will be taking it to scrapping center.
We have to complete our homework a lot. If I'm having an Audi with me and I am getting getting service from an Audi service station, and still it is not unfit, and it come to your fitness center and say it is not unfit, it is a responsibility of Audi. It is not, cannot be responsibility of mine. We have to work at the back end also. Because Audi is saying my car is fit. Here is my certificate. Now, if your fitness center say it is not right, then what will happen?
No, that is
Mr.
very clear.
Yeah.
The fitness center's word will be final.
All right, that word will be final. But Mr. Vardhan, companies have already made huge investments in transitioning from BS4 to BS6 last year. Would it be hard to think of incentives from the manufacturers given the present situation, specifically after the blow of the pandemic?
No. First, there has been leapfrogging from BS4 to BS6. We have bypassed BS5.
Yes.
And the automotive sector has really done a excellent job for
Absolutely.
this transition. You see, otherwise in other parts of the world, the transition has been from 4 to 5 and then 5 to 6. But here we posed a challenge before the sector and they rose to it, and we have moved to BS6.
Yes.
But these very players, these automotive players, are very much interested in this scrapping thing, so that there can be a boost to demand. So they are very willing to go along. We have had detailed consultations with them, after which this policy has been announced. There is no hiccup on that ground.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Another important concern that I'd like to flag, Mr. Kapoor, that the number of vehicles that need to be scrapped, the volume of non-biodegradable waste will be generated. That would be huge. What kind of infrastructure do we need for it?
Yes, definitely. That's what I was telling to Mr. Amit also, that we have to build up an incredible infrastructure. If we have to test 17 crores vehicle each year for a fitness, such a huge infrastructure is required. If we have to scrap, if we say the vehicle life is 15 years, that means you are going to scrap every year how many millions of vehicles? More or less 30 millions of vehicles you are going to scrap each year. So it's a huge infrastructure you require. Surely, the scrap is sellable, it is recyclable, everything okay. And recycling metal company is from UK. Yes, they know very well how to do. And because Mahindra is doing a tie-up with them and it's joint venture, surely everything will be going very, but the infrastructure has to be very, very huge, very, very big. And it has to be in all parts of the country. It cannot be, I'm staying in Delhi, and if I have to scrap, I have to send my vehicle to, I don't know, to Rajasthan, Udaipur. No, it's not possible. So every center should have a fitness center, scrapping centers. It's huge planning. And I
And
know
of
that
course, as
must
Mr.
be
Vardhan
going
is
to
telling us that the
great.
government is already working on the infrastructure. But Mr. Vardhan, before we end this conversation, among the major economies, Germany has the largest vehicle scrappage scheme, which is being implemented since 2009. Now, the scrappage premium there of 2,500 euros was given, and old cars, the 9 years, are eligible for scrapping. Any specific lesson from Germany for us?
No, we have drawn learnings from all the countries, and based on that, we are formulating our rules and regulations and our business models as well. Just one thing, what Mr. Kapoor said, just to remove that impression, we are integrating this scrapping thing throughout the country. So you need not go anywhere else. Even if you bought a vehicle from Rajasthan, you can scrap it in Delhi in our new arrangement. It's not there right now, but when it will be integrated with Vahan, this facility will be available. Then you get a scrapping certificate in return, and that can be even traded. You need not buy if you don't want to buy a new vehicle, you can trade it off to someone else who can avail of the incentives which flow from it. And then we are alive to the issue that we need a lot of infrastructure in this regard.
Yes.
So we are moving in a very planned manner, systematic manner. Right now we have issued a few notifications to that regard. And then we are engaged with stakeholders, industry players. Our aim is to, every big thing has to start with small steps. So we are taking those firm steps, not very small, but firm steps. We are visualizing the establishment of 75 automated fitness centers by March 2023, 50 registered vehicle scrapping centers by December 2023. Our rules in this regard will be effective from 1st of October 2021. And then we'll make automated fitness testing mandatory for heavy commercial vehicles from the 1st of April 2023 and for all other categories by the 1st of June 2024. In fact, for the 10 topmost polluted cities, we'll make policy implementation mandatory from the year 2024-25. So there is a plan, and we are fully alive to this issue that we need much more infrastructure than we presently have. We are moving in that direction with very firm, resolute steps. We are fully seized on this.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
So there will be seamless integration, and of course, the government has a plan in place. On that note, thank you so much for joining us. So the objectives of the policy are to reduce pollution of old and defective vehicles, achieve reduction in vehicular air pollutants to fulfill India's climate commitments, improve road and vehicular safety, achieve better fuel efficiency, formalize the currently informal vehicle scrapping industry, and boost availability of low-cost raw materials for automotive, steel, and electronics industry. That's all we had for you in this edition of Policy Watch. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.